RecTech's more than a grill, it's a lifestyle. Smart grill technology built by grillers for grillers. RecTech with a Q.com, RecTeq.com. We do it on Monday. We call it our three-word game that every NFL game can be succinctly described in 3 words. And here we go.
Browns at Steelers.
Baker gets rolled. 54 passer rating. Second fewest passing yards of his career, and the 11th career game with multiple interceptions for Baker. Only Jameis Winston and Phillip Rivers have more since Baker entered the league. He is now the liability of the franchise.
Lions at Jaguars.
Good day, Galladay. Kenny Galladay is probably the best receiver in the league that nobody talks about. They scored 34 points, the most in 3 years. And when he is healthy and DeAndre Swift is healthy, the Lions have a real offense.
Bengals at Colts.
Are Colts good? They fell behind 21-0 to Cincinnati. Their defense gave up 400 yards. I don't even know. I know their defense is good with Darius Leonard, but sometimes he doesn't play. And how do you keep falling into these massive holes? Was it 21-0 or 14-0? Yeah, they fell behind Cincinnati 21-0.
Bears at Panthers.
Are Bears good? I mean, Nick Foles, 1 touchdown, 1 pick in each of his starts. Fewer than 250 passing yards in each of his starts. Bucks are 4-2, feel better. Rams are 4-2, feel better. The Bears lead their division. I don't know if they're any good.
Ravens at Eagles.
Lamar hit a ceiling. 4th straight game with under 200 yards passing. 3rd game with a completion percentage under 60%. That's probably the most troubling. Gotten into some bad habits of drifting way too far back. Too much flipping. Aaron Rodgers did this yesterday. Too much flipping the ball, sidearm. Step into it. Throw. Teams are kind of begging Lamar to throw. And I don't love their wide receiving options, but they got to button it up.
Texans at Titans.
Hail the King, King Henry, Derrick Henry. 3rd career game with 200 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns. Tied for the most in NFL history. Running away from cornerbacks at that size is unfair.
Washington at Giants.
Better every week. 3rd time holding an opponent under 20 points this year. Giants defense is legitimate. They really do have a good defensive front. They converted 65% on 3rd down. Daniel Jones is good enough to win games. Again, the Jets get worse every week. The Giants aren't good, but they get better every week. It tells me one New York franchise has the right coach. Just be patient.
Broncos at Patriots.
Cam needs help. New England's last in the NFL in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. This was a Brady complaint. Now, Cam got real loose yesterday with his mechanics, and the offensive line was beat up. They have no vertical threat. That Bird kid, that's not a starting receiver. This is the weakest receiving core in the NFL. N'Keal Harry appears to be a bust. Can't separate. Edelman now. Drops are contagious. Their best receiver is James White, the running back. They have no weapons. There's nothing to throw to. It's the weakness, the blind spot of the best football coach ever, Bill Belichick.
Falcons at Vikings.
Didn't blow lead. Matt Ryan was great yesterday. He had time to throw. Going to be interesting to see what Minnesota can do now because Mike Zimmer, Kirk Cousins, time is running out. Mike Zimmer, time could be running out. He's not easy to deal with. I thought Matt Ryan yesterday looked great. They jumped off to a huge lead, a lead so big, even the Falcons didn't blow it.
Jets at Dolphins.
0-8. Since Sam Darnold arrived, the Jets have never won a football game. They average 9 a game and 92 total yards a game without Sam Darnold. So you can blame Sam Darnold. But Adam Gase had his 32nd career loss by 10 or more points. They literally average 90 yards a game when Sam Darnold doesn't play. It's not Darnold. Darnold, if they pick Trevor Lawrence, there's going to be minimum 2 to 3 teams that make a run at Sam Darnold.
Packers and Bucks.
Baller versus Baylor. I'm sorry, but I watch Aaron Rodgers. He has a career losing record if he trails at any point of a football game. Isn't that odd? I cannot be the only person. Tim Tebow has a winning record. Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, these guys are like 65%. I thought after the second pick, Aaron checked out. Was not going to throw the ball. It was windy. He was not going to throw the ball down the field. And it's like, dude, if you want to beat this Tampa defense, you got to air it out. You can't worry about throwing 3 or 4 picks. You are not going to beat this Tampa defense being conservative.
Rams at 49ers.
Remote-controlled Garoppolo. The 49ers had 226 receiving yards after the catch. This is dink and dunk city. San Francisco had the fewest air yards, 613 among all qualified quarterbacks this season. I just think it's too conservative. Everybody said, oh, this is what Kyle Shanahan does. I don't think. Now, in the red zone, that's a great play. But they're going to have, they got a running back injury issue now. They're going to have to air it out. I don't think you can win with this offense. And I actually like Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. I like their wide receiving talent. I think it's really good. Want to know what's really scary? Seeing how much you could save on car insurance. Geico Ween is here. Get a quote at geico.com. So there we go. Today, Kansas City, Buffalo, I think 5.5 points. Fox bet, that's the line. It's hard not to take Buffalo at home, 5.5 points. Coming off, it goes back to my theory. The reason I took the Niners to win this week, when you get embarrassed on TV, Buffalo played against Tennessee. It was a standalone game, no other game, and Buffalo looked terrible. It's my rule. Well-coached, well-quarterback teams that are humiliated always play good the next week. Now watch. The Niners played great last week. They were humiliated by Miami. Watch Green Bay play really good next week. So Green Bay goes to Houston next week. Watch Green Bay throttle Houston next week. They'll play a great football game. Cleveland, by the way, a very talented team, is at Cincinnati. Cleveland will play very good football next week. New England looked like garbage. They looked like garbage. Watch New England host the Niners next week. Take New England to beat San Francisco next week. If you got a good coach and a capable quarterback and you just play an awful football game, I mean, you saw Tampa at Chicago. That's why I should have taken Tampa. I should have figured it out. Brady was that bad. Instead of seeing a team that would be rejuvenated, I saw a limited football team. And what did Tampa do? That's the best football game. That's the cleanest football game that's ever been played in Tampa. No penalties, no sacks, no turnover. It is amazing. All right, we'll see you tomorrow on a Tuesday. Good football games tonight. Speak for yourself. Fizz coming up next.